Hey guys, it's Jennifer, and today we are doing a quick July wrap-up video plus a journal flip-through video. I am using my phone this time for my camera instead of my laptop. I don't know if the sound quality is better, obviously it looks better, so we're just going to try this out, see if we like it. So before I go to the flip-through plus my wrap-up, the one book that I do not have in my journal is this one, The Things I Carried by Tim O'Brien. I didn't start journaling until after I finished this book, and I was about halfway done with the second book I read. So this book is not in my journal, but I did read it. So this is a war book, or could also be seen as an anti-war book. And it's like a metafiction. So the writer had put in events into the story that he himself experienced while he was in the military. So the line between fiction and reality is very blurry, and it's kind of hard to determine if what's going on was true or not. And it was a really good book. Obviously, if war, death, violence, people's mental health, poor mental health triggers you, I wouldn't suggest reading this book, but it was a good read. It sort of introduces you what goes on in a soldier's head who was drafted into the military, and how that not only affects him, but the people around him, the friends, the family, the lovers, etc. It was a really good book. It was really moving. I cried at the end, and if this was in my journal, I probably would have given it 4 stars, either 4.5 or 4 stars. It was a really good read. So the rest of the books I am showing you as my journal wrap-up is going to be in my actual journal. Like I said, it's a July wrap-up plus a flip-through, so we can go through those together. And if you like this format better, let me know, or if you prefer me holding up a book telling you what I think about that, again, let me know. And I just kind of want to try some things out to see what I like best and what you guys like best. Alright, I hope it's not too shaky. I don't have a tripod for my phone, but I will eventually get one. So this is my cover photo for July. I just cut out some cardstock paper of my favorite sunflowers, and I drew some doodles on another piece of cardstock and just glued that on top. So the second book I read was Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I read this book back in high school, and I really enjoyed it back in high school. I read the whole series, and I decided I would like to reread it because I have the whole series, and I read the first book, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. As you can see, I gave it a 3-star rating. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I did when I was a teenager in high school. I felt that Nora was pretty stupid for wanting to continue dating a guy who had the intention of killing her. I didn't understand how some fallen angels could pass for teenagers, but another one passed for a psychologist in the school system. So be aware that my notes will have spoilers, so if these books you want to read, I wouldn't suggest reading it. You can just simply look at my format and see if that's something you'd like to try out, or if that's interesting or whatever. So the next book I read was To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I started writing the days I started, when I finished, the format, how many pages. As you can see, I did normal pen and then switched to gel pen. This is one of my favorite books that I read in high school as a reading assignment. There's not really much to say about this book. Everybody knows what this book is, what it's about, or has a general idea. It was one of my favorite books back in high school, and it still continues to be And then I reread The Great Gatsby again, another book I read back in high school that I enjoyed then and I still really enjoy now. There's still not much that I can say about this book. Everybody knows about The Great Gatsby, or at least has a general idea about it. There's movies. Again, one of my favorite books. I reread it. Nothing more to say about it. And then I read The Book of Speculation by Erica Swyler. I honestly picked up this book because I enjoyed the book cover. But it actually turned out to be a pretty good book. It's about a guy named Simon who, women in his family are mermaids in circuses. They're breath holders. And they keep dying on the same date by drowning, all the women in their family, and it keeps going back generations and generations, and he's trying to figure out how this book he receives in the mail is related to this, why this keeps happening, how the family friends are somehow involved with it. It was a pretty good book. I have a lot of definitions here for words. I like writing down definitions for words that I don't know, or words that I found interesting or enjoy. And I gave this one 3.5 rating. I didn't want to give it 4 because I felt like that would have been overrating it, and I didn't want to give it 3 because I feel like that was underrating it. So 3.5 stars is a pretty good rating for me. And then I haven't finished this book. I'm still currently reading it. Memoirs of a Geisha, excuse me. There's not really much for me to say about it. I'm not going to say much about it because I'm still reading it. I'm not even halfway through with it. The last week of July, I didn't read at all. And I haven't been really reading that much at the moment either because I have an exam coming up. So I need to focus more on that than on reading. But this will appear again in my August wrap-up when I'm done finishing reading it. So, and I left a couple of pages for me to write because I know I will write a lot more. This book has a lot of objectification of women's bodies, rape, and other things like that. It's kind of a hard read because of that. It makes me uncomfortable. So, I know I will end up writing a lot about that. And then here at the end of my July, I drew in a calendar, and these little purple numbers are how many pages I read each day, and then you can see when I finished and started books. And that, like I said, as you can see for like the last week, I haven't been reading. So let's go in and look at my stats. Now remember, my stats will completely exclude this book because I did not start journaling what I was reading and how much I was reading until halfway through Hush Hush. Those are the books I finished, again, excluding the things I carried. I started one. I read 1,255 pages, average page count per book, 338, average pages read per day, 33. How many genres I read? So historical fiction, adult fiction, Southern Gothic, young adult fiction, and this will change each month depending on the type of genres I read. I'm not going to write in a whole bunch of genres and write zeros in it. It takes up too much space. And then I have how many star ratings I did. So 1, 1.5, 2, all the way to 5. I almost wrote 5.5. That's the average star ratings I gave this month. I also messed up here. Again, I'm still learning this. It's okay. And these are tallies. So I read 1 hardcover and 4 paperbacks out of all the books in my journal. And then this is my August cover photo. I got this idea from another YouTuber whose video I will link down below. I thought it was cute and decided to recreate it. And then here instead of drawing in the calendar because I did such a poor job, I printed this out. I downloaded a format and then I printed it out. If I can find it, I will link it in below because it was off of a website. So then I just numbered the pages, or numbered the dates. I had some washi tape to make it cuter, a little Hello Kitty, and my exam day, so it's not far away at all. And then again, how many pages I've read. I'm not reading very much until after this, simply because, again, I need to be studying for this. But yeah. Alright guys, that was my July wrap-up plus journal flip-through. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys again next time.